through a bustling marketplace, down a flight of rough-hewn stone steps, and feel the hush as time steps backward and something sacred soothes your soul. It's hard to not feel the magic and mystery of Buddha when you visit the Haedong Yonggungsa Temple in Jijanggun, Busan. Built in 1376, it was destroyed by the Japanese when they invaded in the 1500s and rebuilt in the 1930s. This beautiful temple by the sea with its many statues, shrine, sanctuary, pagoda, and sanctum is one of the most sacred spots in the entire world. After 108 steps, you remove your shoes, enter the temple, and show your respect for the ancient prophet.
It's disrespectful to go inside someone's house with your shoes on, especially if it's the house of the Buddha. 3 years ago, I had my shoes on. This mean Buddhist took a broom and he turned that into like a fighting staff, and he hit me across the head.
I don't mean to laugh.
And he was just like, and that means, why'd you come inside this holy place with your shoes on? Get back out! After getting that big welt on the back of my head, man, I didn't feel like being here anymore.
Take off your shoes.
Yeah, so make sure. Lesson learned.
I was gonna say that.
Take your shoes off.
The energy inside is so powerful that it literally brought me to tears. It feels beautiful inside of there. I'm sorry that we can't shoot, but it's sacred. Drink the water of life and leave feeling restored, with a sense of awe and wonder that you'll carry in your heart for a lifetime.
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. Number 1, the highways are incredibly smooth, but you pay for that, literally. When you enter and exit, be prepared to hand over a few won.
Once known as Busan, Busan Metropolitan City, yeah, that's the actual name, is the second largest in South Korea. This coastal town is considered the educational, cultural, and economic center of southeastern Korea, in part because it's home to Korea's busiest port, the 10th most active in the entire world. About 3.6 million people call this valley home, and it is only one of 2 cities that weren't invaded by North Korea and was briefly the capital. They hosted the Asian Games in 2002 and are home to the pro baseball team, the Lotte Giants. In summer, the beach, which is the longest in the entire Korean peninsula, draws so many tourists that it's considered to be Korea's summer capital. Busan is famous for its International Film Festival, the Jogachi Fish Market, Shinsegae Custom City Mall, I hope I said that right, and mild weather. Unlike Seoul, citizens here are kinder and don't bark orders.
Hashtag Southern Hospitality.
And I noticed the drivers aren't as crazy. In low-key Busan, a night out usually means soju on the beach, eating ho, that's sashimi, at the fish market, or watching manly men play a game where they drive nails with a single blow into a wooden beam. Lit by 100,000 color-changing lights, the bridge into Busan is the country's longest suspension bridge and adds to the spectacular view of the beach. Just don't expect the breakfast food to be breakfast food.
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. Watch your speed. Police make better use of their time by not hanging out on the side of the road with a radar gun. Instead, cameras are everywhere and they will catch you.
Take a seat for this one, everyone. On the throne. Who dedicates an entire museum to toilets? South Koreans. But it's not just because it's funny. You see, back in the 80s and 90s, there was what was coined a, quote, toilet crisis. Many reporters from different countries focused on the lack of hygienic commodes in the country. And so began the toilet culture movement in Suwon that gradually developed into a national and then worldwide campaign. Native of Suwon City and later mayor, Sim Jae-duk, affectionately known as Mr. Toilet, was the driving force behind this movement. He passionately devoted his life to it and demolished his home of 30 years, built the toilet-shaped museum Haewuje, which means a house to relieve one's concerns, to celebrate the establishment of, get this, the World Toilet Association. Did you even know that existed? Now it serves as a cultural exhibit and a teaching tool. Oh cool, it's what he eats. Hilarious poo-related exhibits are used to educate visitors about serious sanitation issues, hygiene, and how solid waste can be used to make paper, soap, and even coffee. Stroll through the garden to see how ancient cultures disposed of or used solid waste in the different ways that noblemen and peasants relieved themselves. For a time, some cultures even believed that a newborn child would be lucky if a dog took care of their baby's waste. Weird. Celebrate hygiene, the latest in toilet technology. This is ours at the First Hotel. And learn fun poop facts at Mr. Toilet House. Guys, you've never seen a museum quite like this and with such a great sense of humor. What do you think about Mr. Toilet House?
It's pooping good!
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. The entire country is aesthetically conscious, and there are makeup stores on just about every street. Speaking of that, art is everywhere.
Today we're giving you a one-of-a-kind look at how to actually eat authentic Korean barbecue. And yeah, that's Jack Black, because he loves this place too. All right, so we have duck and beef.
Right.
Now teach me how to do this.
All right, so you want to take this little white kimchi here, put it on your plate, with a piece of duck right here, take a small piece of it. Dip it into the sauce, and you like spicy, right?
Yep, I love
Take that
spicy.
Then take that, and then just go ahead and try it.
Yep.
There you go.
Thank you.
Flat
Thank you.
chopsticks. I've never had
yeah.
these before.
That look wonderful.
The duck is so savory already, but then when you add the white kimchi, which I never heard of, the spice of the jalapeno, and the sauce is just like layer upon layer of excellent flavor.
So basically, if you got too much oil in it, we add a lot of greens to it. So it adds, it takes away some of the oiliness, and actually, I just feel it's a lot healthier to have a good mix of greens along with your meat. Wonderful.
So we take some beef, I haven't tried the beef yet,
Yep, try it
and
with
just dip it in the
yeah,
salt.
Not
Just-
too much. If it's too salty, then you can just try it straight.
No.
No?
I can still taste the excellent flavor of the beef, and that just kind of kicked it in a notch. And you were right, if I'd have added too much more, it would be too spicy. He's got fresh snails mixed with these noodles. Sort of fishy flavor, and not really as chewy as I expected. Here's one. Get a nice good shot of that. So I just ate that. And now in order to celebrate my adventure, soju. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. Think our Surgeon General's warning on cigarette packs is scary? The graphic photos on Korean smokes are pretty horrific. They are obsessed with this place. We once saw 3 within 5 blocks.
Think Disney has a lock on the happiest place on earth? Think again. Welcome to Everland. Just outside of Seoul in South Korea, this one-of-a-kind fairy tale-inspired resort entertains visitors year-round with rides, whimsically themed areas, brilliant shows, and festivals. This must-see park amuses young and old alike with its wildly popular coasters like the Rolling X Train, the T-Express, touted as one of the world's most amazing wooden roller coasters, epic shows, music garden, cutting-edge VR rides, and animal exhibits. Spend the day shopping, riding, and playing, and you still won't have seen it all. They even have an office for foreigners. This place goes all out, with fireworks every night, amazing restaurants, and views that will delight even the stuffiest curmudgeon. Splash down on their version of the log ride, or catch a coach on the prettiest carousel you've ever seen. Or even better, hail a sky cab and see the entire park from the clouds. This 15,000-meter park is perfect for dates, a solo thrill seeker, or the whole family. Memories are forever ever at Everland.
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. There are no trash cans or ashtrays on the streets. People just drop trash and move on. So late at night, it looks like this. But come morning, it's all magically clean again.
Daegu is home to many styles of food because a plethora of chefs from different countries flock to the area to learn and also to show off their skills. For example, one restaurant we visited was all about the beef.
이제 대구가 소비 도시로 좀 유명하거든요. 다른 도시보다.
Here in Daegu, they're really well known for not just meats, but all types of aspects of food. And so this is one of the most chef-curated city in all of Korea. So they said that the most famous chefs and people, they all come from this area.
The beef is incredible there. One thing that they do is they actually measure the bone out weight, whereas everybody else measures it with the whole thing, with the fat in the bone. These guys, they triple trim all their meat, take all the bones out. And the price is actually at a very good price point compared to other restaurants in the local area. And the meat quality is outstanding. It's amazing.
It melted in your mouth. It was
Yes.
so good. Marinated, unmarinated, I couldn't decide which was my favorite. I wanted all of it.
It was like Wagyu quality. It's incredible. the striations and marbleization of that meat.
And it's not just about the creativity, sometimes it's about the experience you get in these restaurants.
Yes, with that, it's like they actually come to your table, the owner actually interacts with each of the customers, and when they give you the different types of banchan, as you can see, every restaurant has a different way they prepare kimchi and prepare some of the other things. Even though it's similar, it's still tasting differently because it's within their family secrets and their family recipes.
And we walked into this one place and it was like traditional Japanese style seating.
Yes, and with that, they gave us a very VIP type of experience where they cared about each and every one of us when we're sitting down.
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. Don't bother looking for milk. If you do find it, it's carbonated or soybean milk, so skip the cereal, I guess.
Approaching the 38th parallel is a surreal experience. Looking left and seeing the barbed wire and guard shacks causes a mix of emotions that I still can't describe. Not necessarily fear, but maybe caution or a mild sense of danger. The Demilitarized zone divides the countries of North and South Korea almost in half.
That's a North Korean security post. Yeah. And I'm staring right at it.
The Japanese Empire repeatedly invaded Korea for centuries, and in 1910, they were finally victorious and annexed the Korean peninsula. But when the Allied powers won World War II, Korea was left to fend for itself and try to rebuild its government. As the US was celebrating victory and South Korea declared itself a nation, the Soviets were quietly pushing communism in the north and eventually appointed Kim Il-sung, a major in the Soviet Red Army, as the new leader. 2 years later, Il-sung attempted to reunify the country by invading the south. 3 years later, the war ended with the nation still divided in half. In 1953, the 250-kilometer-long DMZ was created as a meeting point where official meetings and negotiations are still held. 64 years and millions of military and civilian casualties later, the 38th parallel remains one of the tensest borders on the planet.
Things the internet doesn't tell you about South Korea. You won't find a large napkin. What you will find? Wet wipes at every restaurant, on the plane, even at Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, when in Korea. This is bottle service in Seoul. Check it.
Thanks, Joe. What's up, Drew?